A record win for Ireland versus the Wallabies. My name's Mark. Let's talk rugby. Ireland certainly much improved in this one. Looking really sharp, much sharper than we've seen them through this November, right off the start as well. Hansen, good take in the air, gets the crowd going, and he was absolutely outstanding tonight, playing at 15 for Ireland for the first time. Then Ireland win a penalty. Everyone expecting them to go to the corner. Australia switch off a little bit. Gibson Park goes quickly. Ireland spread it in field. Good hands, and Hansen goes between the posts, convert for 7 points to 0. Prendergast then puts in a great kick from a free kick. It spirals, then bounces towards the corner before Jorgensen knocks it on. He's looking to kind of scoop it up, but just knocks it on. Looked like he was maybe in two minds about, potentially letting it go out. I don't know why he would have done, but he kind of hesitated a little bit and then came up with the knock on. So Ireland then attack off that scrum. McCluskey comes on a hard line, gets recycled. Great hands again from the backs. Prendergast pulls it back and over goes Hansen for a second, converted for 14 points to 0. Australia then going through some phases in the Ireland 22. They work it a couple of metres out. They win penalty advantage. Ireland offside, but Australia keep going, and eventually Iki Tao goes over next to the post, converted for 14 points to 7. Then we have a great 50-22 from Gibson Park, and Ireland in a good position. They move it. There's a dab little kick in behind. Jorgensen gets there, but Lowe carries him back over his own line. 5-metre scrum to Ireland. Bundyaki now on for McCluskey, who goes off injured. So wish him, well, because he's gotten a run in the team for the first time when kind of, everybody is available, and it's been good to see, but hopefully, the injury isn't too bad for him. Ireland then move it from the scrum. They go from left to right. Prendergast, cross kicks to Tommy O'Brien. He gets tackled after collecting the kick and then lays it on the deck. Hansen comes in, scoops it up and over for his hat trick. Conversion is actually missed. 19 points to 7. Both teams, they're looking good when they get to chances, but up to this point, Ireland are just generating more than Australia, but Australia start coming back into the game as we approach half time. Ireland with hands in a collapse maul, and Australia up the line into the 22. And you're feeling, this could be a big score they can get over before the break. Ireland contests the line out. Baird steals it, and Ireland are able to clear. We have a TMO check then for an upright tackle on Potter by Lowe. Considered just a penalty because Lowe basically slows himself down, completely before he goes into the tackle. And some sensible officiating in November, finally. Australia then, another line out in the 22. It's messy in the maul, but Australia, they get a penalty because Byrne was offside. They go to the corner, set up the maul. It gets halted, so they spread the ball. They work it up to the line. McWright then forces his way over, converted for 19 points to 14, and that's the halftime score. Australia, a lot more of possession, but not doing as much with it. Ireland, the ones that are looking more dangerous and creating those opportunities, but Australia took theirs fairly well. Into the second half then, Australia, again, a lot of possession, but Ireland defending well at the start of the half. Good hit by Baird, and then Doris, a couple of rucks later, gets over the ball to win a penalty. Ireland then, getting a good return from that strategy of just putting bombs, contestable kicks up in the air, and they move off one after Potter drops it. and Ireland win a penalty, go to the corner from that after, there was a bit of backjack from the Wallabies, and it gets marched 10 metres forward. Ireland then, they go to the maul, they get over the line, but Australia do really well to hold Sheehan up. He went off the back of that maul over the line, and it was Potter who actually got in under him, preventing him from grounding, and that was really well done because Sheehan is so good at getting that ball down in those situations. Prendergast then makes a lovely break, gliding through a hole before finding Gibson Park, but Porter knocks on as they spread it on the edge of the 22. Ireland then playing with penalty advantage. A couple minutes later, Prendergast slops a drop goal, 22-14 at that stage. We then have another great position from Ireland from a bomb of a kick. Prendergast with ping point kick, then out to Tommy O'Brien to go over, but were called back because there were 2 knock-ons, so we're back for an Ireland scrum. Penalty to Ireland from the scrum. Jack Crowley just on, he makes it 25 points to 14. Bundy Aki then offside. James O'Connor puts it right in the corner. Brilliant kick from him, and a big smile on his face as well, because it could have gone a little bit, the other side, and it would have been a bit of a disaster. Australia, though, do provide the disaster because they overthrow the line out, and Doris carries it out for Ireland. We then have another great take from Hansen, and Ireland back into 22. They work it up the line. They're battering away before Doris forces his way over out wide, converted by Crowley for 32 points to 14. We then have a Timo check for potential foul play by Nick Frost on Clarkson. He goes to the bin, and it goes to the bunker for review. I might have missed it, but I don't think they, before the end of the game, said whether it was going to be upgraded or not. I don't think so. I think it was because the referee ruled it when he saw it. He said it was just accidental, so I think a yellow card would be fair in that instance. Henshaw then crawling through a ruck, so Australia, they're able to kick to the corner. They continue to apply pressure before Pollard forces his way over in the corner. Conversion missed, 32 points to 19. Ireland then, they come forward. We're, into the last few minutes. Kick to the corner from penalty, off the top of the line out. Bundy Aki with a really strong carry close to the post. Recycling, and Bird is over to score. Converted for 39 points to 19. Ireland then, last minute and a half or so, monster Australia in the scrum. They break down the left. Gibson Park and Lowe combining. Gibson Park slotting in a fullback because Ireland had to reshuffle their back line, I think because of an HIA. Then they work it back in field. They go right with a cross kick to Kelleher. He breaks into the 22, just goes in between a couple of players. And then they come back then left, another cross kick to Henshaw, who goes over in the corner. Touchdown conversion by Crowley for 46 points to 19, and that was a full-time score and a record win for Ireland over the Wallabies. So, people were looking for a response from this Ireland team, and they got it today, in spades, like to put up a record against, any Wallabies team is impressive. The Wallabies, we start with them. So, I thought they really struggled in the air. Their line out struggled as well, especially second half. Then the scrum struggled too. I thought they had a bit more parity in the first half, but when the benches come on, Ireland absolutely clearly had an edge there. I thought they did well in terms of when they got in position and, close to the line, they were able to get over, each of the times that they got themselves in that position pretty much. So, that's definitely a positive from them. I thought that, in terms of attack, they go through a few phases and then they kind of run out of ideas a little bit. And whereas Ireland kind of had something similar, I thought, the ability for the Wallabies to go to their kicking game and kind of mix it up a little bit just wasn't there from them. And I think it made it a little bit easier for Ireland to defend when they were on the edge of the 22. But, some of the forwards gave them decent go forward. I thought Wilson had a pretty good game from them as well. The whole thing about 10 now, James O'Connor was in at 10, Edmed off the bench. They've got tons of options in there. I don't think that's settled yet for them there either. McWright, hugely competitive at the breakdown, but he got pinged, at least once, I think maybe twice, for hands beyond the ball. And it depends. Like some weeks you win the penalty because you're not pinged for that, and you've got your hands on the ball after putting them on the ground. And other weeks you get pinged for it, and this week he was getting pinged for it, unfortunately for him. But still hugely competitive at the breakdown. And so for Australia there were some good things, but you can still see they're not in the best of form here in November. We knew, well, if you looked through the Rugby Championship, they had a bit of a mixed experience through the Rugby Championship. So we're expecting them to fire in at least one of the games in November because of that kind of up and down performance. But, at times, yes, they hit their stride a little bit in this game, but not enough. And yeah, we're still waiting for them to kind of hit any kind of form in November. Ireland then, some really good performances there. I thought Prendergast was excellent at 10. Hansen, player of the match from fullback. I thought, Bird really is growing into his role now at 6 for Ireland. And it's great to see because it means that we can keep Byrne in the second row. And it also means that when Joe McCarthy comes back, we have genuine options in that second row as well. And you can have the likes of, James Ryan coming off the bench, that type of thing. Thought Doris coming back as well, looked really good. And then, it's just about now, I think, in terms of who's going to play 7 for Ireland. Once they're all there again, you got the option for Van der Fleer wasn't playing today, so you could stick him in. Doris was a 7 today with Conan at 8, and they actually went well. But then you do lose the impact of Conan off the bench if you're going that way. And next week against South Africa, we'll definitely need impact from our bench. I thought, Furlong and Paddy McCarthy went well in the front row. Sheen's much better in the line-out. Line-out was so much better this week. Doesn't mean all the problems are fixed in that department, but it was night and day compared to the rest of November from them. So hopefully they can, carry that in to next week, because they're going to need every single ounce of, every little thing to go their way against South Africa, just to have a chance in the game, not even to win the game, just to have a chance of potentially winning the game. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a good performance. I thought Crowley was very good off the bench as well. For me, I still think Crowley should be the man in possession. I don't think one good performance from Prendergast should mean that Crowley gets shifted out of the starting 10 in the really big games. So I'm hoping that Crowley gets a start against South Africa next week, and then Prendergast maybe off the bench. Casey looked good when he come on. Gibson Park seems to be getting back to that kind of best form that he was in last year. Had a dip for a lot of this year, so that's good to see there as well. And a lot of positives, obviously, from Ireland as well. The one negative, I would say, would be the injury to McCluskey, because he really has been good in that 12 shirt, keeping Aki out of the starting team on merit. And just having that competition there, really has helped to rejuvenate a team that has been getting very stale, I feel. So we're seeing more competition in positions, and it's it's certainly positive, But one thing that will be a big mark against them, I think, especially going into next week against South Africa, was the ease with which Australia were able to force their way over from close in on 3 different occasions. So that's something, that South Africa will look at and say, well, we can bring that type of thing in spades, and we've got more powerful units than Australia do. And if Ireland are weak around, their own line, defending their own line, we're gonna exploit that, and South Africa will not, give it up. If they get 2 tries, 3 tries, they come back 4, 5, whatever. If you got a weakness, they are the team to absolutely exploit it to the nth degree. So definitely something that Ireland have to fix for next week. Again, not even to be thinking of winning the game, just to be competitive in the game, because they're going against a team next week that look like they're just on another level compared to anyone else. Ireland has shown in the past they can definitely beat the Springboks, but good performance here. Gonna have to go up another couple of levels, I think, for next week.